is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Challenge Cup semifinal qualifier podcast. You're here to talk about the KC Current and all things women's soccer. It's your host, Daniel Kooser, here with my buddy weighing in at 165 pounds, Christopher Wright. What's up, buddy? Did I get that right? You look like a crisp 165.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much spot on, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, you really are. I mean, I didn't expect your intro to include my weight, but here we are.
And I should be the fool the guesser at Worlds of Fun. Remember those guys? Fool the guesser.
Yeah, I think you can do it pretty well.
What's up, man? You were out of town this weekend. How's everything going? Flights and all that.
Safe flights and all that. Everything went pretty well. I do have to tell you, whenever we win big, I do take pre-workout. So it's pre-workout pod. Pre-workout pod going on right now. Also, I don't know why, but whenever I do not attend the Challenge Cup games, we put up 3 goals. The last one was the hammy hat trick. This one, 3-0.
Wow. Okay. Well, how about, we're probably going to host this semifinal. How about you keep your little buns at home, huh? No, it's, dude, it's a crazy time, man. We said on our last podcast, there was a lot of soccer this weekend. Someone's bound to let us down. It's just a matter of who. And it was not the Kansas City Current, man. It was everybody else. Not who I assumed would win the freaking game, because Louisville has had our number, dude. It's a good time to be a KC Current fan, because we are moving on in this competition.
Revenge is sweet. Now, I wish we would have got to bump them out of the cup. That would have been great. But, there's a good chance we're going to have a playoff game, Challenge Cup playoff game in Kansas City. And if, this is assuming, by the way, that Gotham doesn't win by 7 goals or something.
That's, dude,
crazy.
Actually, I mean, if Gotham wins, oh no, Louisville will still progress as the second best team. That's wild.
Yeah. So Louisville's in it.
Yeah.
Who will win Gotham?
It's just a matter of who's going to host this thing. Assuming we should host, right? The way goal differential works out. So, I mean, Gotham would have to go in and win like 7-0 against Orlando, which we've seen teams put up 7 before. It's not impossible, but that game is tonight. We're recording on a Wednesday. They finally are playing that makeup game tonight. But we don't have to worry about it. We know we will have a semifinal game. I believe they're saying it's September 6th with the final to follow on the 9th. Wild time, man. I don't know how the same team can not do good in the regular season and then be pretty good in this competition. But really, it's just the way things are grouped, right? You only have to play 3 teams twice. Louisville's kind of screwed us all year, but the other 2 we kind of have whooped up on.
I mean, let's be honest. The 3 teams in our division are the bottom 6 teams, including yourself. But, at the end of the day, we'll take it, right? Survive and advance.
True. You take it. It will be tough to advance any further, I'll be honest. No matter who we end up playing here, that's gonna suck. It's gonna be very hard. Also, people are getting their World Cup members back for the semifinal game, so that could make us a better team too. There's so many variables going on, man, that I'm very excited to break down and discuss in the coming weeks. I do feel that we have a double-digit goal differential in the Challenge Cup. That is weird. I mean, we have all negatives in league play, but we are just crushing it in the Challenge Cup. Make it make sense.
I don't know, but one thing that was kind of interesting that, we'll talk about a little bit later, but we'll do it now. Our last 4 games in the Cup, there are 3 wins and 1 draw, and we outscored opponents 10-1.
Good Lord.
10-1 in our last 4 games. So,
it just takes a little spark just to catch a little fire, and we're doing it at the right time. I mean, this is inevitably, you got to jump on this. You got to use this momentum, and then what do you do with all this momentum? Well, let's take a week off here. let's not play next week. Like, that's what sucks, man, is that you just can't jump back in and carry this wave with you. You got someone like Haley Mace scoring her first goal of the year. You'd like to see her continue to get confident and comfortable, but nope, we're going to take a little break. I hate it.
It's tough, man. It's, like you said, a week off is kind of tough. You know, when we play in the Challenge Cup and the playoffs, our starting lineup's going to look different, right? Like, I doubt Spanstra will be starting. Hopefully we have DiBernardo and Gautrat and a Debinha, and, you know, our back line might look different. But with the two national team players coming in. So I hope we can get the chemistry together, because we really kind of caught fire here in the last, you know, couple games in the Challenge Cup. And I just hope we can integrate everybody back in and not miss a beat.
Yeah, man, it is. There's no shortage of soccer to watch these days. I've had to kind of refresh myself on this game because so many World Cup games have happened. So many Leagues Cup games have happened. If you guys are watching the Leagues Cup between MLS and Liga MX.
A lot of shootouts, man. A lot of shootouts.
There's so much going on that I'm like, oh man, okay, I gotta shift gears here and talk about this game that was only this past Saturday, but it just feels like an eternity ago with these World Cup games coming fast and heavy. So luckily those are slowing down as they progress into like the round of 8 and everything, the quarterfinals. But this lineup comes out, and me, like everyone else, I'm sure, is excited to see Michelle Cooper back in. We know the spark she provides when she gets back in there. We know her physicality is unmatched by damn near anyone in the league. You see Kristen Hamilton in there. You're like, hell yes, let's go. Hat-trick Hammy coming off this confidence. Didn't get nothing done in Chicago. Just everyone was just dead to the world somehow. But Kristen Hamilton sure came back in and decided to make her mark on this game in the 3rd minute, bro. Getting another goal in the 3rd minute. What a way to start. An early goal. You can't beat that.
Well, on that run-up play, right, I thought Kooser should have done a better job of attacking because there's that through pass and she kind of fumbled the ball. But, I rewatched it again before because I wanted to see what Hamilton did. What did she do? In a moment of brilliance. She's had a couple of moments of brilliance, but what she did is she hung back. She didn't race into the box and drag players. She hung back and then took the space once Kooser didn't have anywhere to go. And in a very calm and collected manner, she just one-timed that thing, the bottom right of the goal. Now, we play rec soccer, right? You know how hard it is to not get excited when you got a ball just coming across and you got to one-time that thing to not blast the living shit out of it? That's so hard to do. But she was calm, collected, and just slotted that thing perfectly.
I mean, it looks like it might be an easy thing to just blast the ball over the net. Just ask the women's national team and their PKs. Too soon, bro. Too soon.
We'll talk about it, but too soon, man.
This was 3rd minute though, and I thought CeCe Kooser was going to have a shot. And for her to take on these 2 defenders and then lay it off there for Kristen Hamilton, that's expert shit. That is what you do. You aren't selfish. You see, okay, I could either be a hero or an idiot and take on 2 people here, or, oh, guess what? There's 2 people on me. Chances are someone has no one on them. And Kristen Hamilton just able to get us on the board 3 minutes in, man. And I'm not confident at this point. I'm like, man, we scored too early. Like, I'm still very cautious. I'm like, it's going to take more. We got to have it. You knew if you won this game, you won the division. Like, we didn't have that knowledge going into these games when we spoke last week, you and me. Yeah, we didn't know we could win the division. But the fact that North Carolina Courage dropped points, it was like, we could mess around and win this division. And at the end of the day, we end up doing that. And that's so exciting to me, bro.
What I love, and I don't think we talk about it enough, is the chemistry with Kooser and Hamilton.
Yeah.
I don't think we talk about it enough because when Kooser was out, our attack really struggled, right? Every time she's out of a game, whether it was injury or anything else, our attack just struggles. And Hamilton, she's not the same player without CC Kaiser. And that's a credit to coaching. That's a credit to them. That's, it's just a beautiful thing to see their chemistry work like that. And it was unselfish of her, a beautiful, calm play by Hamilton. And buddy, we went up right away. Right away. We set that tone.
Yeah. I mean, now, not without contradiction, because Louisville put 2 in the back of the net that were called offsides. And it was wild. Louisville had some fans there. They had some people there. And it shocked me because when they scored, I heard like applause over there. I was like, what the hell? I didn't even know that they had anybody. And then, at that point, you're just like pointing at the flag. You're like, you're dumb. Sit your purple asses down, you idiots. But dude, it was scary because you knew they're putting it in the back of the net. They're going to get one soon. AD France, though, was a monster. We've had this tournament, I guess. Now, Cassie Miller was a part of this as well. She played some in this tournament. We had 4 clean sheets in this tournament, and we had the second fewest goals allowed in this whole Challenge Cup. What the hell? Now, granted, that's a small sample size. You're only playing 3 other teams, right? And like you said, bottom of the league, but I'll take it. That's a great accolade.
No, I absolutely agree. The first, seeing when we played Louisville last time, there was a VAR that overturned the goal and they came right back and scored, right?
Yeah.
And that was really fresh in my head. You just kind of felt like it was coming. They just needed one more set piece, one more corner, and you just knew they might put one in the back of the net.
Yeah.
And thankful for VAR, it did not happen. Ultimately, we gave up 2 shots on goal. That's a good defensive performance.
Yeah. France only had to work a couple times on it like that. And dude, we're in at the halftime. It's 1-0, right? So we come back in the second half, and Louisville gets a second yellow, dude, in like the 48th minute. And I'm ready for my pessimistic ass. I'm like, I'm still not happy. I don't like this because we know when, so the other team gets a yellow card, we're going to try to push and take advantage. They could hit us on the counter. It's going to get bad, bro. All they need is one goal to break some hearts here today. What would you think? I mean, were you pretty fired up? Were you excited that red happened?
I mean, absolutely. I feel like we needed it. And it kind of, I was a little frustrated too after that happened, because for a little while after it happened, it still felt like Louisville was pressing, right? We were up a player, and I feel like they controlled the game for about 15, 20 minutes after that. And I was frustrated. I'm like, we're up, up 1 goal, up a player. We need to put that dagger. We need to put that knife right in their chest and just finish them. And it didn't seem like that was going to, happen for a little while until, Hamilton had another one in the 81st.
Look, trying to, was it 81st? Yeah, 81st. Haley Mace trying to give Kristen Hamilton a run for her money as far as who's going to be player of the match, because Hamilton might have gotten 2 goals, but Haley Mace participated in 2 goals as well. She assisted Kristen Hamilton on this second goal, and then in the third one, which was the 90th minute, 90 plus 1, Rylan Childers gets her first assist to Haley Mace, who just freaking rockets it into the upper corner. Just rocket, bro. I was very excited to see Haley Mace get on the board because we know the quality that she brings. We know the strength she has. I mean, look at her legs, people. She's a freaking thoroughbred, okay? If you think she can't fire shots like that from outside the box, you're out of your mind. She's a very strong player, and I think we're a better team to have her on the field.
Absolutely. I mean, aside from that 15 minutes after, they went down a player where we just kind of sat back a little bit, and we were absolutely phenomenal. I felt like, last week we talked about what do we have to do to beat Louisville, dominate the midfield, because the last, 3 or 4 games we played them, they've controlled the midfield. And that's an easy thing to say in a soccer game, right? That's cliche. But we struggled against them all year with that. And we dominated the midfield, man. Our back line was great. France was perfect. But, I really want to talk about the efficiency of this team, right? Hamilton and Mace were absolutely efficient with everything they did. For example, Hamilton had 2 goals off of 3 shots and 2 shots on goal. 2 shots on goal, 2 goals. She had 24 touches and went 100% pass completion with 17 completed passes out of 17 attempts. I mean, if that's not efficient and masterful, then I don't know what is. We were talking about Mace with her absolute banger, right? She played 45 minutes. She had 1 goal, 1 assist, and an 83% pass completion percentage.
Amazing.
Efficient. And all year we've struggled with the opportunities we've been given all year.
Yeah.
And through this Challenge Cup, through Hamilton and her connection with CC Kaiser and others, and Cooper pressing, by the way.
Yeah.
The nuisance. She's pressing. People don't want to go to that side of the field because they're going to get stiff-armed. They're going to get shoulder checked. It's a physical side of the field with Michelle Cooper out there.
You will see a murder or two, yes. I love looking at the discipline of games and, to see how rough things were, right? And you would think that Louisville was very rough because they had 5 yellow cards, dude, and we had 1 towards the very end. Weinbrenner decided, she'd come in and play too hard. So, no. I mean, I love that when you come in towards the end of the game and you get a yellow and it's like, well, make your presence felt, I guess.
Oh, we've all done it. It's fun.
We've all done it. It's all good. Well, this is great, man. I'm very excited. Of course, we've locked up at least the 3 seed, potentially the 2nd, assuming Gotham doesn't just go off. If you're listening to this right now, you already know the results. So hopefully it all worked out and we're hosting a Challenge Cup game. So stay right there. We're going to take a short commercial break and we'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Listen, man, KC Current might be doing good things right now, but you know who is not doing great things is U.S. Women's National Team. Thought they'd say bye-bye and come home from the World Cup a little early. They are not rewarding people who wake up at 4 a.m. to watch them. It's a pretty frustrating affair. How'd you do Sunday morning? Did you make it up to watch?
I made it up. I watched about 5 minutes and then I was off and on. I was like dozing off. I'd come back. It was off, come back. And I did go back and rewatch most of it, but I was awake for extra time and the PKs.
You dude, when it's boring games, right? Just when it's just deadlocked like that, I'm just like, wow. It's tough. Sweden has had revenge on the mind for a while. Isn't that one of our most played opponents in international competition anywhere?
Like it. I feel like they beat us in the Olympics back when Hope Solo was our keeper. Hopefully I'm correct on that. But we always tend to play them in big games. So yeah, they're kind of a nemesis at this point.
Yeah, man. I will want to go back to KC Current stuff here in a second, but I thought we'd just do a quick midway USWNT thing. Penalties. Your veterans gotta be better at penalties. Sophia Smith gotta be better at penalties. You're the thing, dude. You are the prize. You're the chief. Like, you are the one with all the promise in the world for this striker or this attacker position, right? I don't see it. I saw it in the very first game against Vietnam, but that was Viet frickin' Nam. That I'm not taking much away from that. Otherwise, Sophia Smith went and took a little nap. And as a fan of her for the U.S. team and a non-fan of her for Portland Thorns, I kind of hated to see it. That kind of thing. I'm sorry. She plays this cocky game on Portland Thorns, and maybe I'm just bitter because in the freaking final last year, she scores and just kind of looked all sassy bee on it. I was like, "What? Ryan, I hate this person.
Right?
Like, I'm so mad."
We sat at the championship game. We were there. We sat in that corner. Yeah. That's exactly where we sat, and that's where she scored. That's where she came over to celebrate. Their little thug. And every time I see that picture, it just hurts me. Hurts me.
That picture's legendary. That picture is everywhere, and I'm like, bro, I changed my flight back from Vegas to go to this game. And I get this picture, and it's all I can think about. So what I'd like to see her be better for the U.S. team, but I also didn't hate seeing her knock down a peg. Am I a bad person?
It's not out there. Humbled. I just wish it wasn't on a PK that kicked us out of the World Cup.
Yeah, for sure. And this goes back, dude, earlier in the World Cup, Alex Morgan missed a penalty. I mean, don't you practice penalties at the end of training every day? Isn't that what normal teams do? I thought I knew that. I thought I heard that somewhere.
Well, what's brutal, man, is we had basically 2 opportunities to win, right? I can't remember who went first, whether it was Smith or I can't remember if it was Smith or Rapinoe that went first. But Rapinoe, I saw a stat that I can't confirm it's true. I'm taking it for what it's worth on Twitter, but she never missed a PK for the U.S. national team.
No shit.
That was her first miss, was a World Cup loss. Sophia Smith, I mean, she's usually money, right? She's the best attacker we have. I wonder what the odds were. I wish there was a way to figure it out. The statistical odds of both of them missing PKs, because the odds had to have been super low.
Here's the balls on Andonovski. All right, our coach. I'm going to make a sub and bring in these 2 amazing penalty takers because they're so good. It was Kelly O'Hara and who?
Christy Mewis?
Mewis, yep. And Mewis crushed it. When Mewis stepped up, I said to Marissa, how freaking funny would this be if the 2 people that came off the bench have just lousy penalties? And it's like, wow, glad you made that sub. You know what I mean?
Right.
But Christy Mewis, can't fault her. That was awesome.
Her first touch of the game was a PK.
I know. And Kelly O'Hara comes up, and it's like, all right, veteran Kelly O'Hara, come on, Kelly, you're fine. You don't get handballs in the box or fouls in the box, anything like that. But she missed it. She absolutely botched it.
Keeper went the other way, man, and she had the whole clear net and just post.
Speaking of that keeper, she's a demon. She's an absolute demon because she was great. Just couldn't be fooled at all. Was just diving all over the place, getting dirty. And I'm also convinced that to be on the Swedish national team, you also have to be a model, because Swedish women soccer players are all blonde-haired models. Tell me I'm a liar. Tell me I'm a liar.
I can't confirm or deny that.
Except for the keeper, who was brunette. She didn't get the memo. She was like, yeah, I got to be the black sheep here. I just got wondered. I was like, God dang. They all look the same. Blonde hair, blue eyes.
Nair, man. Let's talk about Nair's performance.
How about her penalty kick? The only goalkeeper to take one and save penalty shootout, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. We don't know our facts. We'll just say shit.
But amazing stop, by the way. She had an amazing stop. She put that thing top of the goal.
Yeah.
Once we were up in that shootout, and then I knew we had Smith coming up. I was like, done deal. And then she missed it, and then it was repeat. What sucks too is they were clearly the better team when you watched the game. They were clearly they outplayed Sweden, but just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, which has been the crux of that team all World Cup. They had an expected goal of 1.3 to Sweden's 0.7.
Listen, that goalkeeper made me a fan, though. That goalkeeper made me want to support this team because she's just a monster of a human being.
Yeah, she did great. But if you take a look at this overall World Cup, the U.S. gave up 1 goal in 4 games and gave up 2 shots on goal in 4 games.
Okay, so that's great defense, but your offense sucked. Like, you can't just have these stalemates and then they got their 1 point and advanced with their lowest point total in the history of their World Cup careers.
Right.
But they if you can't score, you can't win, because now you got to go win in PKs, and you just made a long game even longer, buddy. Sunday was the most tiring day of my life. I did not get a nap in, so naturally I was grumpy. I had so much to do, and I just couldn't nap. So I'm still kind of pissed. I'm just mad at this team.
Well, I see a ton of criticism on Vlatko, and
Well,
that's
are they letting him go? Because that would have already happened, right?
I don't think you do it right away, or
Really?
not this soon. I think you let it play out a little longer. He's probably gonna kind of let the landscape shake out a little bit. You know, from what I've read, from what I've heard, the players were not really put in a situation to succeed in terms of attacking. Like, Sophia Smith was playing out wide. She should have been up top.
I
Morgan,
kind of wanted to see Lynn Williams a little more because she
Yes.
is one of the fastest people I've ever seen in my life.
she led every team in, I think, goal creating actions or something like that.
Really?
She was a very effective player.
So unbelievable. She was just electrifying. Like, she didn't really get to play much, but when she was in, it was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
this woman is fast.
Kind of wish we had her, but it's okay. I love
You hate to say it.
I-
If you have her, then you don't have Michelle Cooper. Sorry, Coop. We know you're a friend of the pod, but Chris said it, not me.
No, no. To clarify, when you know that you had her on your team, it hurts to see your play and not on your team. But I absolutely love Cooper. No regrets. I love Cooper.
That's a good backtrack.
I had to. I didn't want to be on the off chance.
Just fucking charge you, bro.
On the off chance she listens to us, then
Yeah.
I don't want to get a stiff arm.
You can't match her physicality. I'm sorry.
Absolutely cannot.
You're done.
She would crush me. Absolutely cannot.
Well, we had more heartbreak later, dude. The Denmark team lost. So I guess the good part is we're getting all our World Cup players back. With Stina Balaseger. They'll be returning. And, dude, this is wild, by the way. I didn't think Dabinia would be back in Kansas City for this Challenge Cup game, right? We talked about it. We're like, how cool would that be if she played? We know it would never happen, but how cool would it be? She was there, bro. And I was like, stop this. Stop this. She's not going to play, is she? And she didn't. She wasn't even on the bench, of course. Like, it's asinine to ask her to do that. But, I was theorizing. I was like, how freaking neat would that be? That'd be not like we needed her. Kristen Hamilton's got things on lock.
Well, the fact that, we have a week break, right? We have a break before the regular season game against OL Reign. She didn't have to come back, probably. She could have taken some additional time off, maybe went to Brazil for, a couple days and came back, but she went straight to Kansas City, man. So
maybe she did. Maybe the manager was like, come on back. Like, if your boss says to come back, you come back.
Yep. Silver lining, like you said, she played all 90 minutes in the game against Australia. Obviously lost 2-0, but
Australia is proving that they are very dangerous without Sam Kerr, for God's sakes.
Yes.
Sam Kerr's not even playing, buddy, because they don't need her to. She's just going to continue to get healthy and fit and get back out there and maybe help them win a World Cup in their home nation. That's
crazy with that.
That's one of the coolest things. I mean, when your team's not in something, you kind of root for the home team, especially in a worldwide competition like this. Australia are definitely favorites to win this thing right now. England's pretty good too, though.
France is good. Let me ask you a quick.
It's really good. France yesterday. Sorry, France was like, I think 3 goals in 20 minutes ought to get the job done. Oh, buddy, what a bloodbath.
All my teams lost. Germany, U.S., Brazil. Those are the teams I was going for.
Yeah.
Who do you want to, last question on the World Cup. Who do you want to win? Who are you going for? Not who you think will win, but who do you want? I'm going for Japan, man. I just have to go for Japan. I think that'd be a great story.
Well, England and Sweden are definitely a couple of them. Casey Current have a couple of Swedish internationals that might have gone to play had they not been hurt. They might have been on that team. So that's something you got to think about.
Right.
Outside of those, England and Sweden are pretty pretty big ones.
Japan's they're fun to watch. They're a bit of a fan favorite.
I always love their. They always come pretty strong with their kits, and their floral. They have like floral arrangements, like Japanese blossoms or something like that. It's always
So
kind of cool.
I want to get a jersey because of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be wild. Yeah, I'm a fan of jerseys in general, man. Cool. Hey, let's take a quick break here, second break, and we'll come back and wrap things up with some KC Current talk. Stay tuned.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network.
Dude, we've got one commercial now. Did you know this? Did you realize this? Used to be able to check my email, and we got a single commercial. I can't even do it. Can't even check my email in between our breaks.
Really?
You don't even notice, do you? You have no idea. You're like, that's not how it's always been?
I'm oblivious. I'm oblivious to everything.
Unbelievably oblivious. Hey, Challenge Cup in the bag. Our next home game is not the 16th. It's the 18th, right?
Let me check.
That is a Friday, the 18th.
18th.
Against OL Reign. Yep. So we have 7 games to get at least 6 points. Also means other people got to drop points. We got to get up there with the flow of things in this league play. And obviously, keep moving in the Challenge Cup when that comes around. But I see you've put here that we've had the 3rd toughest schedule through week 15.
That is correct.
That cannot be dismissed. I mean, that's significant, Did you know Hamilton's out here breaking Challenge Cup history though? She has like 12. She's matched the most goals in Challenge Cup history. Dabinia had 12, right?
And that they're both on the same team. Isn't that kind of crazy?
That's good company. You think they're not fighting to score against each other like in the semifinal to try to break that record? Like that's some friendly competition.
I love it.
I love to see that. What if there's like an easy goal for Kristen Hamilton, but Dabinia sneaks in there and like kicks it real fast and the goal goes to her?
Let's say there's a PK opportunity.
Oh,
who's getting that PK? Who's getting that PK?
I think Michelle Cooper does the tiebreaker and she's like, I got this.
Yeah, just walks right in and kicks them both out, being the rookie.
Oh, that'd be so sick. But she has been
a veteran.
She's been the penalty taker, hasn't she?
I thought Lowe's absence and Lowe's absence, yeah.
Lowe's absence, that's right. Lowe was taking penalties.
Yeah.
But Lowe missed one, so I think it moves on to the next person. It should.
Yeah. I want to touch on one quick thing on our last game, by the way. This was the best game the Current had with passing accuracy or completions all year, all competitions. So this was the best we have passed all year. Now, the NWSL gives us an 85.2 passing accuracy. An FB reference gives it a 84.1% completion. So I don't know the variance there, but either way, both of them are it's the best game we've had in terms of passing. So you love to see it. You love to see the efficiency, and it just makes my heart really happy to know that our chemistry is really kind of coming together there.
Yeah, man. I'm so excited to have something exciting to talk about, and that's moving on in the competition in a year where we may or may not make the playoffs. Nothing's guaranteed, still work to be done. But dude, we could be hosting either North Carolina Courage or Gotham FC on September 6th, and then you got to become a Racing Louisville fan for a minute and hope that they beat OL Reign, and then we can maybe even the playing field and beat Racing for the title.
Could you imagine how intense that game will be? Money on the line, hardware on the line.
Yeah.
It's a team that you've played 4 times this year so far, or something like that.
Yeah, if that happens, dude, I've got a trip planned that weekend, and we would modify it and get to that Challenge Cup game. If we're in the final, hell, I might. If we have to travel to Seattle for the final, I'll freaking, we'll travel out there. That'd be a blast.
That'd be a lot of fun. And I did take a couple minutes earlier, taking a look at some fun Kansas City Current Challenge Cup stats. And I like my stats. I like digging into this stuff. So, obviously,
stats. All right.
Yeah, I like numbers. I like stats. I like to fiddle with it. So obviously we know Hamilton leads the cup with 5 goals. Everybody knows that. Mace and Weinbrenner are tied for second in assists, and Mace has the best assists per 90 during the cup at 0.87. So creep it up to 1 assist per 90 minutes. It's pretty darn good. Mace leads the Challenge Cup in goal-creating actions with 5, and goal-creating actions per 90 with 2.17. And then the last one that really stood out to me was Hamilton leads the cup in goals compared to the expected goals. So, she has 3 goals over what her expected goals were to be. So talk about, finishing her opportunities and efficiency, man. I don't think we've had a player that's had a three goals over the expected goals.
Look, she's getting this, man, there's never a bad time for a striker to get into form. And that's what's happening. And Coach Pueblum said it's how she takes care of herself, her body, but also the expectations she sets on her teammates. The way she presses, the way she runs, she's always looking over her shoulder like, hey, come with me when I do the pressing. So to me, she is a true leader and a really, really easy player to work with as a coach. Hamilton, bro.
What's crazy is 2 of the 3 players that we've been just talking about how good they've been in this game, Hamilton and Mace, we got them from the trade for Amy Rodriguez. So,
yeah, that didn't really work out for North Carolina, right?
She retired the following year and went to coaching.
Do you think they knew she'd retire? I mean, no one knows that, right?
I don't think so. I think maybe Kansas City might have had a clue that she was thinking about it, and that's why.
And then they're like, okay, let's see if we can dupe another team into getting 2 players for a player that's going to leave them at the end of the season. Is that possible? Did they dupe them?
I don't think they do, because it was weird. It happened in the middle of like a week, and we had to play North Carolina that coming up.
Yeah.
It was really weird how that happened. I know the teams in the league got a lot of criticism for just trading them that quickly and then asking them to play against each other for another team within the same week. So
that was pretty badass. I kind of thought it was pretty cool.
It was pretty wild, but the fact that we got 2 crucial players who are helping this team at, a couple years later and being key, players on this team, having them, a fantastic trade.
Yeah, man. You love to see it. You love to see these people, these women getting the respect they know they've deserved for a long time.
Yeah.
And to finally be hitting their stride. Like I said, it just sucks we have a week off because OL Reign will have Megan Rapinoe back, so it won't be easy.
They'll have Rose Lavelle. Canada lost. Oh, they'll have Alana Cook. They're good.
Does Crystal Dunn play there?
Portland.
Oh, Crystal Dunn's with Portland. Okay.
Alana Cook, their best center back. National team's coming back. Quinn, who played with Canada, she'll be back. So they're gonna have their team back too. So it won't be easy, but we got good players as well, man. So,
well, I will ride with Captain Hamilton any day of the week, man. Happy to see her play for us. What else is there to talk about here? What kind of come to the end without previewing another game?
Yeah, because we're gonna have another pod in between that game, so we'll preview that game next week.
Yeah,
but I don't know, man. Just exciting stuff. Second time in a row we've won the division in the Challenge Cup, so
yeah,
take pride in that.
Well, they're making us feel pretty stupid because we talk pretty sadly about this team sometimes. How it's just things aren't good. Hit the panic button. Blah blah blah. And then we go over here and win our division and go on to the semifinals. It's just like, you're making fools of us.
I think it's just inconsistency is probably the toughest thing for this team right now, especially with the injuries. I mean, let's be honest. It's been a revolving door of injuries all year, all positions. The team or the position we thought we were the deepest at, midfield, at certain points, we had to go into rookies and, players who traditionally wouldn't start. So credit to coach for making all this work, right? This is not easy. She's done what she could to, bring the chemistry in with all these injuries. So I just hope we can integrate our national team players right back into what we're doing and not miss a
Exactly. Before we head out of here, I want to say one thing. It should be noted that with the U.S. crashing out, with these inconsistent, results, Germany crashing out, Brazil crashing out, teams that you thought would be there. With NWSL, anyone beating anyone on any given day, the rankings go fluctuating all the time. That really shouldn't reflect on teams blowing it. It really ought to reflect on this women's game is growing and it's changing and parity is getting different. The U.S. aren't the big bad wolves anymore, man. We kind of knew that coming in when they dropped a quiet 3 on Vietnam. These other teams, nothing to turn your nose up at. So NWSL is kind of the same way.
And at the end of the day, that's what we love, right? The game is raising as we speak. And
right. Now, don't, stay away from Alexi Lawless. He'll tell you something completely different and probably piss all of you off. That man is just crazy, right? Like, he has to just love attention, doesn't he?
I think he said something the other day that, it was like the national team, you have, don't shoot the messenger, I think was his tweet. But, you could see why they're so, polarizing because of their political stances. Yet he'll go and retweet support for politicians that obviously like divide.
Vantis.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it, but yeah. So, you want to talk about a hypocrite right there. So.
That's it. What do you mean don't shoot the messenger? Like, so who are you a messenger for, buddy? Because these are your thoughts. Who are you a messenger for right now? The big guy upstairs? The Jesus? Like, I don't understand when he said don't shoot the messenger. Like, you're the one being an asshole. Yeah, that's like saying with all due respect and then saying, go fuck yourself. No, I said with all due respect. Like, you can't get mad at me. I said with all due respect.
That's like throwing something in the trash, seeing a full trash can, and then telling your significant other, hey, trash is full, you should go take it out. Don't shoot the messenger.
See, that's why we got duties in my house, man. My wife knows she's the trash person. She's not the trash person. That sounds absolutely horrible. But I keep my bitch ass in the kitchen, all right? I know my work.
Where you belong, sir. Where you belong.
Put my apron on and I my sexy ass cooked dinner. That's it.
I just love you brought up the fact that the parity of women's soccer is so great. The fact that 3 or 4 of the top 10 teams are out. You got teams like Jamaica, African teams proving their worth with very limited funding, by the way. The Jamaican team was like GoFundMe, if I remember correctly.
Oh my gosh.
So you just love to see.
Did you see that Jamaican player that was like pushing that person off of her?
The Colombian player?
Yeah. And she finally pushes her and the Colombian like falls down. Best part was the Jamaican player goes like this at the end. Freaking hair flip, bro.
Unbothered.
Absolutely hair flip.
Unbothered. That was funny. I love it.
It was. There's always a pest in the box, man, on corner kicks, free kicks. There's always someone that's just going to be there to pester and piss you off. So, cool. You want to get out of here?
Let's go.
All right. Hey, short and sweet today. No game going on this week. We'll be back next week to talk all things Kansas City Current. Of course, rate and review us on your podcast platform of choice. Go subscribe to us on YouTube, KCSN, KC Sports Network. Comment, like, subscribe, all that stuff. What can I tell you? Follow us on Twitter at NoOtherPod, at Dan Kooser, at Chris Wright 21. Send us an email, nootherpod@gmail.com. And, buddy, last thing I have to point out, because we did get something very cool in our DMs.
Oh.
It is, I hope he's okay with me sharing his name, Mike Denny. He hit us up with a NWSL playoff machine that he just kind of made in a Google Doc. It's pretty much a regular season schedule simulator. So you just kind of plug and play results and stuff, and to see kind of what it's going to take for KC Current to make the playoffs. Very neat thing. I'm not smart enough to really mess with it, but I sent it to you, so maybe you are. But I just want to publicly say thanks to Mike for doing that. I think that's really awesome and shows that he supports us and supports the team. So, good stuff. Anyways, that's it. We love you all very much, and we'll see you next Wednesday.